Welcome everyone to the next lesson. It's basically a Grafana introduction. But before we do the Grafana introduction, I want to make something very clear here. And that's what I'm trying to teach here, what I'm trying to do with the full-time GoDev program is not, so to say, to learn you how to build complete programs perfectly, pinpoint, precise, into detail, theoretically and practically 100% okay according to the programming paradigms and communities, if you know what I mean. Because it's nice that I'm a little bit of an introduction here, maybe something off topic, but I can see in my YouTube videos when I make, for example, these pattern videos, or I make a video or I want to explain something, I see a lot of comments. There are a lot of good comments that say, hey, thanks for this, thanks for sharing your knowledge, but there are a lot of comments, and these comments, they make sense in a way, but they are directly, hey, why do you do this? Why don't you do this? And you can make it generic, and you can do this, and why don't you do this? And it's actually better to do this. Please, Anthony, do this, do that. It's not good. This is better. That's not the point of programming. And that's exactly why the programming tech community is going in the complete wrong direction, because that's the wrong mindset. Because if you think about it, what do you want to become? Do you want to become a person that can grow confidence, that can quickly, creatively, how do you say that? Creatively find a solution for a problem? Or do you want to become somebody that's stubborn in implementing a specific solution for a problem? And that's not what I'm teaching here, right? I'm teaching a way of life, right? I'm teaching you a way of thinking. I'm teaching you a way of acting. I'm teaching you a way of programming. It's a style. It's my style. And it's a style that will make you money. It's not a style that will get... I'm going to be honest here. My style is not a style that's going to get you hired for FANG, Netflix, Facebook, Google. Why? Because I don't care about technical implementations that are already being solved. And Facebook, Google, and all this stuff, they care. They are looking for people on a more scientific level of thinking. I don't think on a scientific level. I think with an open mind, and the only thing that I want to do with my code is come to a solution as quickly as possible. I'm a builder. I kind of hack things together. Of course, I can make things clean also. And this is a very important approach, because this will make you more money if you utilize this correctly than if you're going to work for a FANG or a Facebook or a Google. Because this skill will basically allows you to push things out in the open and to come to solutions and build them very quickly and ship them very quickly without too much of a stubborn approach, without too much of a nitpicking, detailing approach, which is a rabbit hole that never ends. And I say this basically, this long introduction. I think sometimes it's good to do this in my videos, because I not only want to teach you coding, I also want to and I will do more of these in the hiring section, in the how to get a job section, because it's very important stuff. Because this is a way of thinking, is very important, right? It's a way of thinking, it's a way of living. And if you don't like this approach, which can be completely fine, right? If you think, okay, hey, I want to have a project that's completely working fine and everything needs to be pinpoint according to the tech community's guidelines and paradigms, then basically this is not something for you, right? Because I'm teaching you how to come up with stuff and make it quickly and make it fast and come up with nice patterns, come up with nice techniques. Of course, they can have improvements, but that's not the point, right? That's not the point of the course, right? The point is to keep you motivated, right? That's very important. So why I'm saying this, because a lot of people ask me, hey, can you show me how to deploy to Kubernetes? Can you show me how to use Grafana? And I'm basically not a Grafana guru, not at all, right? Because why would I, right? Why would I be a Kubernetes guru? Because it's a waste of time for me, right? Why should I know that? I will never use it. Nobody, why should you use it? Because if you're going to work in a company most of the time, there's going to be a DevOps guy that's going to take care of everything. He's going to set up your Grafana and everything. But I'm willing to give you a small introduction to Grafana, how to hook it up with Prometheus and all that shenanigans, so you can see. And then it's up to you to play around with that, because I have no clue how that thing works in depth. And I will never learn it because I don't need it, right? That's the thing. And this mindset, guys, to finalize this this little conversation. I look funny with my glasses, I know, but my eyes are basically completely borked from sitting too much behind my desk. This is my way of coding, my way of thinking, my way of doing things is something that's super useful for building your own companies, for building your own businesses. And that does not need to be big businesses. It can be very simple apps that you just try, have a good idea, you make this app, you ship it, and you see what's going on. If it's not working, time for the next one. Make these simple, fast, try to come up with solutions fast, ship them, and see how the world reacts. And maybe you're going to do that 10 times, maybe it's going to do 20 times, but I swear to God that sooner or later, you're going to hit something that is successful, and then you can build upon that, and so you can build your wealth. Because by the end of the day, look at Twitter, look at Facebook, they are all laying off, they are all firing their people, and these are very talented people, probably, right? Very scientific, and they know binary tree and all, and lead code stuff. I don't give a shit about lead code, but now they are fired. You know what I mean? Now they are fired, and now they are crying on Twitter, help, I'm fired. Is there another job opportunity? Of course, nobody's going to hire because it's not a hire moment right now. They need hackers. They need people that are very versatile, right? They need people that can code front-end, back-end, marketing, business, do some meetings. They need a multiple, how do you say it? They need how do you say that? Like with these multiple feet, like a million leg insect. Centipede or something. Is that a thing? Centipede. That's what they need. And the only way to become that is to copy my behavior. In some kind of a sense. Some kind of a way. Alright. Grafana, enough bullshit here. 7 minutes of waste of time, but I think I'm trying to being honest here with you guys, right? I'm not gonna sell you anything that's not true. I'm trying to being honest here. Yeah, so basically we're going to do it with our toll calculator. So we're going to have an aggregator service here, and this is the aggregator. Like I said, we have multiple services, but the aggregator is the one we're going to make pinpoint precise, right? There are coming episodes in the future. Basically, I'm going to record them, where we're going to make the aggregator completely ready to deliver to your DevOps team, because that's what's going to happen, right? You're going to be in your company. They're going to ask you, make this service. You're going to make that service, but you need to present that perfectly instrumented and all that stuff to your DevOps team. So that's what we're going to do with the aggregator configuration, all that stuff. So that's missing here, right? So I did a couple of things, right? So basically, first of all, let's experiment it a little bit. So we're going to have our Prometheus thingy. Let me boot that up. First thing, guys, very important, because Grafana, the default port of Grafana is 3000, right? The default and the default listen address is 3000. The problem is that our aggregator in the beginning was also 3000, right? So we need to change this in our Prometheus file here, right? It's very important. You're going to change this. Pick a port. I picked 4000. That's fine. I picked 4000 here. And we also need to change this here, right? In here, right? This thing here, the HTTP listen address of our service, also make that 4000, right? It was 3000. Now you're going to make it 4000 or something else. Maybe 3002. I don't care, as long as it's not 3000, because it's going to conflict with Grafana, right? Okay, cool. So the next thing what you need to do is install Grafana. Like I said, guys, installing stuff. I'm not going to actually go into detail with that, because I think it's BS. It's a little bit of a waste of time. I think if you're at the point right now, you should be able to basically figure out where to find information, how to install Grafana, right? But hey, I can show you. You see here, I'm installing this natively on my system. The reason why is because my Docker is WSL still not fixed my network bridging, so they cannot find each other, and there's a problem. So I basically installed that directly on my machine by using on Linux, right? I'm using these start the Grafana server. That's actually the next one here. The Debian installation here, right? I followed this install from apt repository. I followed just the instructions, nothing wrong. I just copy pasted stuff and it works, right? If you want to do it in Docker, you can. If you run on Linux natively or something without WSL, or you have your bridging set up, you can basically run it from Docker. It's super simple. Copy paste stuff in your terminal, press enter. It's going to boot up Grafana, port 3000, and we're good, right? I'm going to show you here localhost 3000. So this is my Grafana, right? Okay. Enable to work. What we're going to do is start our Prometheus, right? So we know that from the previous episodes. We're going to start Prometheus, which in my opinion, which in my system, it's running on natively. So it's basically in my Prometheus folder, which is a folder above. I'm going to call the Prometheus binary, and I'm going to call here config file, which is in here in our project. We have the .config prometheus.yaml. So I'm going to link that. I'm going to press enter. So now Prometheus is running. And of course, right now we need to, if I'm going to press enter here on metrics, let me boost the window up here. If I'm pressing enter here, basically what's going to happen is he's not going to find anything because I didn't start the aggregator, right? So the next thing we're going to do is let me make this one. Let me make ag here, make aggregator, press enter, and now you're going to see that we have the HTTP is running on 4000 and the gRPC is running on 3001. So if I now do metrics here, boom, it's going to work perfectly fine, right? So the next thing is, so we have Grafana running, we have Prometheus running, and we have our aggregator running. 3 pieces. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to, after that's done, you're going to go to localhost 3000 and press enter. Then you're going to see this welcome to Grafana stuff, because Grafana is very, very, very in-depth, right? And also what I'm maybe going to do is see if we can push our logs also to Grafana. That would be nice. For the aggregator, we're going to, like I said, I'm going to instrument it perfectly fine in these series. So we're going to have a complete microservice, completely instrumented logging middleware and all that shenanigans, and I'm going to try to put it on Grafana. So that's a video probably that will come. So the first thing we're going to do is basically add your first data source, right? And you're going to click on Prometheus, very simple. Add your first data source, click on Prometheus. Then it's going to have a, because I already had a Prometheus, but that's no, let me see. Can I delete all that stuff here? Data sources. Yeah, I'm going to, can I delete these things? Build the dashboards. Delete my dashboard, delete my Prometheus, build the dashboard. I don't want that. Click here. Delete this dashboard, right? So now basically I'm going to have the same, I'm going to do it again. So I have the same setup as you guys. Boom, Grafana, add data source here. Am I zoomed in? Yes. It's going to say here, Prometheus, right? Click Prometheus, fine. It's going to need a URL, right? Where does Prometheus live? Well, it lives at http://localhost 9090, right? Why? Because here, localhost 9090. You see, this is the Prometheus stuff from the previous episode. That's the Prometheus server, right? This is the metrics handler from the aggregator. That makes sense, all right? Okay, so basically here we're gonna say 9090. That's fine. We're not gonna do anything else. We're gonna just save and test, and it's all green. That's the only thing we're going to do, and it's the only thing that needs to be done. Of course, if you're running this on a TLS server or something, you need to do some other stuff. If you have some basic out, because in companies it's most likely protected, you can add basic out and all that stuff, but you can figure that out yourself. I'm pretty sure you can do that. You can see this here, basic out, you can click that stuff and all that thing, but that's not for today. So basically, the next thing we are going to do is we go back to home. And then we could say, actually, to be honest, you could click here on Prometheus. Actually, I already have one. Data sources, Prometheus, and then you could say build a dashboard. Click that, boom. Of course, we have a problem here because I did it another way, but that's no problem. I'm going to add a visualization here. All right, add visualization. And then it's going to say, okay, cool, we're going to make a query. You can also make a transform, but that's, like I said, it's already too in-depth. You can figure that out, right? I think the hardest thing is to basically hook things up together. So we're going to say here, it's a little bit annoying window here, not going to lie. Kickstart your query. We could do a metric, right? We're going to select a metric. For example, the first thing I always do is the num go routines, right? Go routines here. We collect that. And then we're going to say, run queries here. That's fine. The localhost 3000, what's running there? That's the Grafana itself. Okay, it's monitoring itself also. I see. Alright, that's fine. Why not? Because this is the 4000, that's the job aggregator, but we're also running at localhost 3000. That's a little bit weird. Not quite sure why this is coming, but it doesn't matter. So you can see that Grafana has 134 Go routines running. Hey. And our aggregator has 7 Go routines running. That's basically nothing, right? Okay, cool. That's that. You can actually zoom out here. So it's going to be smaller. If you click this, it's going to basically... Oh, no, not today, actually. Let's do that. That's nice. Right, so you can see the Go routines here. It tracks that at real time. To be honest, what's the time, actually? It's 36. This is from... I think this is from me testing this a couple minutes ago. Can I actually go further here in time? We can't. I fucked it up. I'm going to refresh. Zoom out. This is actually nicer. Oh, now I have this. Look at that. Now I have perfectly what I need is basically our aggregator. And I think I can select here and I can drag that and then I can zoom in here. Beautiful. All right. This is basically the num go routines. The next thing we're going to do is add our, I think it's going to be the request the latency. I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that, but I think, for example, the error counter. Error counter here. This is the aggregate error counter. That's fine. Wait, shit. We made a mistake here. I should make a new query, by the way. Can I do Control Z or something? Nope, we can't. Damn, it's going to be num go routines real quick. Go routines is fine. We're going to leave it like that. Run queries. Okay, I think we're good. Then I'm going to say add another query. Right? So this is going to be the go routines. Then query B is going to be the error counter for aggregate. So that's fine. Can I run this? So that's the error counter for aggregate. That's perfectly fine. Then we're going to make another query. I'm going to collapse this query here, make another one. And I'm going to say this is going to be the error for calculate. Do run queries here, boom. That's perfectly fine. And then I'm going to make another one, a query for, and you can make multiple panels, right? So maybe let's do that. These are the errors in the go routine. Let me do apply here real quick. Oh, that's fine. You can make a panel title here if you really want. Edit panel title. Can I actually adjust that panel title? Not quite sure. Normally you should click here, probably not. So this is going to be the error thing. Actually, to be honest, let's delete this. Let's take the go routines in there. It doesn't really matter. You get the point, right? So I'm going to just apply here. Going to make a new panel. Add a panel here. Visualization. Boom, boom, boom. All fine. Panel title. Here it is. We're going to call this requests. Request counters, something like that. Transport background, yada yada. We don't need this. Visibility. You can do a lot of stuff in here. Like I said, it's more of a configuration shenanigans thing. Kickstart your query. We're gonna select here. We're gonna say request counter aggregate. Boom. Click that. Run queries. That's fine. Then we're gonna make another query, and that's going to be the in calculate request counter. Call that. Run queries. Boom. And we're done. Right. We're gonna apply. Boom. Now we have beautiful 2 panels here. We have the request counters, and let's edit this panel, by the way. You can see this because it's in my window. Edit these panels. This is going to be error counter. Error counter, apply. Beautiful. So the request counter. So maybe we can try a request, actually, to be honest, or an error. How are we going to do that? I think we need to have a Thunder client request open. Thunder client, new request. HTTP, localhost. Localhost maybe? Yeah, localhost is going to be 4000. Can I do calculate maybe? Calculate. Page not found. I think it's going to be invoice, by the way. Actually, I have no clue. I need to check this real quick, right? What do we have here? Aggregate an invoice. Okay, that's fine. I like that. So we're going to say aggregate here. Boom. We have an end of file here. I think if I keep sending this, maybe it's going to be a post request. No, it's not. The question is, do we have errors? That's the question. Yeah, we have, right? Look at this. The aggregator, it's speaking. It's speaking to 10. So can I actually... I'm actually wondering what's going to happen if the time goes further. Should it drop back to 0 or not? That's something I actually don't know. Really, really interesting about that. I'm pretty sure you can configure it that it's some kind of a rate instead of a counter that saves the state over time, if you know what I mean, right? It's basically every 30 seconds, right? Oh, that's the num go routines. I'm a complete idiot. That's a complete idiot. Hey, sorry. Normally we should have some problems, but where's this? Panel play not found. It doesn't matter. We don't care about that stuff. Can I refresh that? I don't know how it works actually. Let me do this. No, it's not. How do I zoom out? Aha. Okay, so that's not going to work. That's basically because I have no clue what needs to be with this aggregate here. Let me see if I can do something. We need to decode, so that's going to be a post, right? So what we actually need to do here is basically check if the method is post also here, to be honest. First of all, what we're going to do is if r method is not equal, I think it's going to be post caps, not quite sure. Let me do a panic here. It's going to panic. Let me rerun this thing, make ag, just to see if it checks uppercase and lowercase shenanigans, right? Let me see here. Let's send end of file. That's not going to work. It's a post probably here. Yeah. Let me send. Boom. Okay, cool. That's working fine. So that's what we need to do here. Very important. If the request method is not post, we can actually maybe just write a JSON return here. And we're going to say here, JSON bad requests error is going to be post method post not supported. Get. Method should be method not support. Method not supported. That's a good one, right? That's what we're gonna do here. Let's do it. Make ag. The problem is that we don't see any requests coming in. It's because we only see requests coming in if these are basically metrics for the business logic. Maybe we're gonna add, actually to be honest, maybe we're gonna add some metrics for the request, right? For the request layer. That's important because it's also a metric, right? It's a different one because it depends on how do you want to instrument it, right? So that's fine. The next thing we're gonna do is make a new request here. Yeah. I hope the mic volume is good because I lowered it a little bit because I thought my voice is basically over the limit a little bit. We're gonna send here method not supported. It's pretty fine. How do we make a how do we make a valid request? That's a question. I need to put a distance. That's fine. Let me see. Types distance here. Value OBU and a Unix. Let's do that, right? So let's do a post here. Let's make a body. I'm gonna say value Let's make it empty. OBU ID. We cannot do that, right? I'm a complete idiot. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. OBU ID is just like this. So we're gonna say OBU ID is going to be also as an empty. Let's make a false number, and let's make the Unix here something like this, right? Let's send that. All right. So cannot unmarshal into strict distance value type float. Value is also a thing probably. Boom. That's gonna be fine. Now we have a 200 OK, which is completely weird actually. Oh yeah, because it just takes a distance. It could be anything, and the OBU, it doesn't check if the OBU lives, right? It just is dumb. It just takes an OBU and calculates the distance and pipes it further, right? So that's fine. So normally, if I refresh this, we should actually have some things. Not quite sure how long it takes to get some requests actually in. Yeah. Let's wait here. It's a little bit annoying. So we have some requests here, right? So we should have request for aggregate, right? That's all good. Error is nil. It's all pretty fine. Oh shit, what's going on here? Shit, I fucked it up. Because wait, look at this matrix here. If I press enter, we should have. We have numbers, right? Calculate. There's the buckets. Here, request counter aggregate. We already have 6 requests, right? When is it going to pick that up? That's my question. Not yet. But you can see we have it here, right? So if I do another one, I'm going to send here, boom. Then we're going to have 7 here, right? If I repeat this, boom. You see, aggregate 7. Perfectly fine. What's going on here, man? How can I scrape it faster? Defines 5 seconds. Okay, I see. A JSON model, what is that? Probably for importing some stuff. Do you want to save your changes? Save dashboard. Toll calculator. Let's press enter. That's fine. We still don't have any of these requests. That's annoying, right? That's a bit annoying. It should be 6. 7 actually, to be honest. But this is like 3530 and this is. Can I refresh that? No. Huh. Is Prometheus actually finding the shenanigans? Yeah, that's up, right? It's scraping these shenanigans. That's fine. This code beast. Why is it doing that? Can we please have some metrics here? Please? It should work, right? I cannot imagine that that's not gonna work. Maybe it's not updating for some fucking reason. We don't know. Let me try something real quick. I'm gonna add a visualization. Let's do request counter. Aggregate. Let's click this, right? And run queries. And then it's gonna be 0 again. This is weird. Add a rate. Consider calculating the rate of a counter by adding rate. I don't know what that is. That could be interesting. But still, I'm a little bit annoyed by the fact that we don't have this aggregate request counter aggregate. Is that what we want? Yeah, 7. Huh. Hint error rate. Let's try that. Boom. I'm gonna click here. Boom. Rate the interval. That's fine. Run the queries here. No fucking data. That's annoying. Let's do the 1 minute. Oh, an error rate. Yeah, I see what they do, guys. You see I'm learning here alongside too. It's an error rate. It's the rate of errors. So that maybe it doesn't show us here, actually, to be honest. I'm gonna keep sending here. There's the error rate, bro. Oh yeah, it's a request rate, right? So I'm gonna send here. Boom, 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 boom. Just like that. Request counter aggregate. That's what we want, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now it should be higher, right? Ah, now it's working. Yeah, so this is basically a rate, which basically is the rate of your requests that's coming in at a certain point of time, right? Because if we run queries again, it's going to drop again, right? You see? So it's spiking, right? It was spiking. So you need to play around with that, right? It's not that I have, like I said, I'm no guru at all. I just figured this out just right now. I think I like this actually, to be honest, because that's for the error rate would be amazing. Let's go back. Let's apply this here. Oh, what is this? This is the go routines, all good. This is the error counter. Oh, now it's, nee, this, okay, this is the go routines here. Oh yeah, this is the, now it's working. 53 requests. Okay, you see, you need to wait a little bit, and it's all depends on, it all depends basically on, the scrape interval that you configured here. But you can see this is basically a request counter, which is 53. But I like the rate more, like here. This is going to be the rate, if you can see that. This is going to be the rate, right? And you can see that at a certain point of time here, we hit all these spikes, which is going to be the rate here, right? Depends on how you want to see it. So that's basically it. You can add multiple stuff more. Maybe actually, to be honest, we're going to play more with that because I like it. It gives me dopamine in some way. But first of all, we're going to make our aggregator a little bit better, right? We're going to do much more with the service. Not so to say to the business logic, but more with configuration and all that stuff. And then we're going to make, then at the end of that, then we're going to make a cool panel. What do you think? We're going to make a cool panel and everybody's happy, right? But this is just like a little introduction. You can also play around with that. Like I said, it gives me a lot of dopamine, so that's why I'm going to make another video about that. But first, we're going to make the aggregator. See you next one.